Hello. Now we are going to start our third unit, that is Systems Requirement Engineering. In this unit, we'll see requirements engineering, functional or non-functional requirements, engineering design processes, and process engineering. What's the difference between these two? Then we'll see two kind of management, logistic management and risk management. Thereafter, we'll see requirements specification in the ending. So we are first starting with requirements engineering. What is requirements engineering? So first we'll look at what is system requirements. The requirements which are describing the functions to be satisfied for the stakeholders and the requirement of the users. And what are these requirements? These requirements are like what are the functions and operations, what are the necessary things a system should need to do. And in addition to these requirements, what are the non-functional means that are not being mentioned but need to be provided by the system, also be done by the system. Then we'll see how all these systems requirement and requirement engineering are being managed with the help of textual statements, views, and non-functional requirement. So what are the kind of non-functional and other requirement? Functional requirement are like level of safety of the system, security of the system, reliability of the system. So all these mentioned are non-functional requirement. Then elicitation means, elicitation is an English keyword and it means collection of intelligent information. Then in this system requirement, most important topic or most important thing is elicitation means collection of information from various stakeholders. Now we'll see system requirement definition by ISO. So it defined, ISO defined like a requirement is a statement that identifies a product or process, operational, functional, or design characteristic or constraint, which is unambiguous, testable, or measurable and necessary for product or process acceptability. What they said, they defined about various jargons or keywords of system requirements. These are like identifying the product or process, how they should operate, how they should function, how they should be designed, and characteristics of all the system that are expected, and what are the constraints that are possible for the system to be working. And all these statements or the thoughts or the requirements should be unambiguous so that it would be clear to understand. Then there should be a testability, means that could be measured and that could be tested. Then the measurability property, the system expectation requirement should be measurable with certain quantitative or qualitative performance measures. Now the necessary for the product and process acceptability. So that the after the product has been developed, it has to be necessarily accepted by the end user or the stakeholders. Thereafter, what are the three important parts of a system requirement, that are process, role, or states? It means that system could be divided into various blocks, and these blocks could help you to understand or translate the system requirement and drive or satisfy drive some requirement and process of development, and then at the end it will satisfy stakeholder and users. Thereafter, in this part, process or role or states also says that state should be agreeable, means there are various versions or various proposed arguments and approved arguments, and some of the cancelled state was also there. So these requirements should need to be acceptable or agreed by the stakeholder and the user. Thereafter, there's various level of abstraction. So what are the various levels of abstractions? So the abstraction levels are like stakeholder level, stakeholder requirement, system requirement, then system entity requirement. So there are three different levels which are being mentioned. Then the types of requirement. What are the types of requirement? Like functional and non-functional requirement, performance or constraints, etc. All these kinds of requirements. Was very common one is functional requirement, that could be qualitative, that how the system should work, what are the functions of the system, what are the tasks that system should perform, and what are the operations and how that operation should work. Thereafter, performance requirement. Performance requirement means one of the non-functional requirement, we can say, that could be measured qualitatively, quantitatively. Quantitatively and qualitatively are two important things. For the functional requirement, qualitatively means which do not have specific quantity or which is not easy to be measured. So that is qualitative. But the properties that could be measured with some numeric value, that are quantitative. So that has quantitatively measured, and these such things are performance requirement. So how well and under what condition a particular function or task of that system is performing better or not performing better. So calculation of all these things could be done under the performance requirements. What are the example of performance requirement? Rate of change of velocity, how the velocity, speed, and the development process was going on, and how fast the system is behaving. Then usability requirement, how better it could be usable. This could be like qualitative, again, which can't, it's not easy to be measured. So it's qualitative, what are the quality of that system, and the measurable effectiveness, that could be approximately measured. Then efficiency, it tries to measure. Then satisfaction criteria, again the qualitative thing. Next, interface requirement. Interface requirement means how the system is interacting with its own component within that system, and how the system is interacting outer world, outer environment of that system. So the interaction within the system and interaction to the external system. So in case of external system interaction means external interface, and interaction within the components or entities deals with internal interface. So both the external interface and internal interface have some interface requirements. Next, operational requirement. What are the operations that a system need to perform? How the system should be operated? What are the conditions, probability the system should behave and work? Then mode or state requirement, how the event of transition from one state to another state should work. What are the modes it should be converted from one state to another state. What are the version 1, version 2, version 3, 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. So all these are the state requirement, how they should work. Then adaptability requirement, how, what are the potential extension or growth that could be possible, how the system should adopt according to the changing environment, and what are the scalability for the long duration of survival of that system. So all these things are being addressed under adaptable requirements. Then logistical requirements. So there are various conditions where you need to have the continuous flow of different assets or different logistic required for management of that system working. So what are the purpose of this? The purpose of this is sustainability of that system, so that it could provision some of the facilities that are required at the different point of location, level of support that are being required at different locations or different areas place. So these type of support personnel, spare part are being required, training are being required at different locations, technical documentations are being required. So all these things are being governed under logistical requirement. Then what are the purposes, other purposes like packaging, handling, shipping, transportation? All these things comes under logistical requirements. Next, physical constraints. We'll discuss some of the system requirement constraints like physical constraint, design constraints, environmental constraints, policy and regulation constraints. Then cost and schedule constraint. So what are the physical constraints possible? Like of weight, volume, and dimension should need to have some fixed size, or they should be more than a particular size. So there is has to be a range of weight, volume, and dimension. So all these things are physical constraint. Then design constraint. Design constraint means optional way of having the design solutions for boundaries of that system that has some limitations for being designed. So for example, the if we'll take example of cars, there are different types of cars like sedan class car, like SUVs, sports utility vehicle. So there is another kind possible, that is crossover of both sedan and SUV. So why these different designs are possible in the car? Because of the physical constraint as well. So in there are small urban class car is also possible. Why small? Because it's easy for parking. So dimension of that car is small. Again, the design is impacted, whether that design should be sedan, whether that design should be SUV, whether that design should be crossover of both. So all these things are the example of this. Then there are various environmental conditions, constraints. What are they? They are like have to be taken care while defining the requirement and different operations or functionality of the system. Then there are various policies, regulations possible in a particular organization, and there has to be some of the regulatory requirement for all these things, because of which functions or operations need to be monitored or measured for a particular performance of the system. Then it's obvious that every project have some cost or schedule constraints, so that that schedule should need to be measured, and the time should be measured, and it has to be completed within the time, and the cost of the different resources, human resource, should need to be measured. Then we'll see what are the examples that could be possible for the system requirement constraints. For example, system must require to incorporate some of the legal or entity, or the component of the system should provide the legal clauses and should need to be under some guidelines. Like there are various type of engines that produces different level of carbon emissions. So the car or the vehicle should need to follow those legal requirement of a particular nation. Then certain data shall need to be maintained in an online repository. So in the software engineering or the in any side any scientific domain or some of the research domain, sometimes it is required for putting that data or the code repository online. Then there are various societal threats. What are the society that are being possible? that need to be influenced, or there are various threats that are related to political and economical or social condition, then various natural disasters, temperature, dust, radiations, all be taken care in the while the system requirement are being developed. Then there are various inductive or self-inductive environmental effect, that is motion or electromagnetic effects, thermal effects. So all these things are have to be taken care in the mechanical devices. Then there are various labor policies, reports, or regulatory agencies that have some of the various type of legal requirement. Then what are the safety condition for the health measures? What are the component of the system that has need to be measured for the particular cost or something? Then expected delivery dates need to be measured, and there has to be some milestones or goals that need to be achieved. Then what are the artifacts? System requirement artifact. These include system requirements document, system requirements justification for the document for traceability purpose. So all these things has to be measured or maintained. Then the system requirements have some database that has some traceability, rational, and decision making purpose. There are various attributes or approximation that are need to be followed. Then what are the system external interface requirements for documents? So all these things require interface requirement, database requirement, justification. All these need to be described for a particular purpose. Then there are various entities or entities within the system. So its use. Then stakeholder requirements. What are the stakeholders? The type of stakeholders are like end users, like system managers, like system owners, external stakeholders. All these four are kind of the stakeholders. The stakeholder requirements are need to be translated from a statement of engineering oriented language to the some design problem, definition problem, or some verification that need to be mentioned. So in the requirement specification, all these arguments of the stakeholders, that the requirement that told by the stakeholder are need to be translated from some of the engineering oriented language. Like there are various domains like mechanical engineering, computer science, or electrical engineering, civil engineering. So all these have different jargons, different methods or keywords that are need to be properly mentioned in the requirement specification. For what purpose? For the proper architecturing, definition, design, and verification, means testing of the system. And development testing could also be possible in better way. Then what are the things that forms the basis for all these things? So there are four different important necessity for creating requirements. That is system architecture. Better system architecture should be there, so it has to be done in advance. Then better system design activity should be possible before the system go for the development purpose. When the system goes under the development purpose, various components are being developed, then the system components are need to be integrated. So system integration requirements are there. Then verifying that whether that particular component is working properly or not, whether that integration of those components were working properly or not. These are the main important criteria. Thereafter, validation means the stakeholder should need to be accepting the conditions. Means validation could be done within the within that company or organization for that particular product. Then moving that product to the stakeholder or user. Then stakeholder and user will decide whether it is acceptable or not. Thereafter, in the fourth one, Communication between various technical staffs, means how the product is behaving, working, should need to be formalized, and that could be possible with the interaction throughout the project, and the discussion keeps on going. Next, what are the system requirement engineering that we are going to see up in this chapter, this unit, or in the next other units? So basically, functional or non-functional requirements, we are going to see just next what is defined in the functional and non-functional requirement. Then we'll also see requirement engineering processes that are being governed as engineering processes or process engineering. Thereafter, we'll see requirement elicitations. Then in this chapter, in the last, we'll see requirement specification. In the next chapter, we'll see requirement validations in terms of systems testing or something like that, system testing or system analysis, system monitoring. Then requirement changes. We'll see in the system evolution how the system evolves and how the system should be managed. So we have seen systems requirement, which is one of the important requirement. But there are other class of requirements for the user requirements that we haven't seen, because that's the different from the our goal of for this coursework. We have small syllabus for the systems, small space for the syllabus of systems requirement. So we have skipped that client requirement or user requirement, but we will see the system requirements in detail. Next, we'll see functional and non-functional requirement. I hope you had enjoyed this part of requirement engineering. Thanks